Before the first pitch, there is silence. Then it begins. Row by row, the seats fill. Footsteps become voices. The stadium awakes. Let's play ball.
Alongside Matthias Ondrzejczak. Should be a fascinating battle in the fifth place game, Matthias.
Yeah, hey Gabriel, nice to be here with you. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Yeah, I said it before, the sound of Great Britain versus Germany has a feeling of a little semi-final character. It's going to be a big game. It's for fifth place, but it feels like more than that.
You're absolutely right. It does feel like we are coming into a medal game, and both teams noticeably just very focused, not letting loose because it's the last day, really concentrated on getting noticeably less festival today amongst the teams, even in some senses than compared to yesterday. But also, with the nature of the opponent, each national team knows that this is a game it has to take seriously, and that fifth place in the absolute gauntlet of European baseball is no small achievement.
No, for sure not. It's no small achievement, and it's really important for both of the teams to finish in fifth place. A lot of things that play into that, and of course, first of all, that was a game that nobody would wanted to be in, nobody of those two teams. But now they're here, and I think both of the teams are ready to compete. And do not forget that's a rematch of the semi-final of the last European Championships where Germany lost. So it's still an open bill, like we say in Germany. What's the English saying for that?
Well, an open question, I suppose. But the rivalry continues.
It's just a rematch for Germany and the chance to make up for the loss
That's
like
right,
2 years
yeah.
ago.
Never underestimate the importance of revenge on the baseball field, even though, Matthias, these two teams get along very well. There's no actual animosity on the field, but there is a real sense that both nations thought that there might be a very good chance at a medal in this tournament. Both teams last time surprising their opponents. I don't think anyone expected Germany or GB, other than the members of those teams, to push it all the way to the semi-finals in 2023. And then this year, both feeling like, given that they made it to the semi-finals last year, that nothing but the semi-finals would be good enough this year.
Of course, because you want to at least repeat your success, right? You don't want to be worse than the last time. So yeah, both of the teams had the same goals coming here, and both of the teams lost their quarterfinals, but yeah, made up for it with a win in the upcoming game, and yeah, that's why we're here today.
And so we have these two teams fighting for fifth place, which comes with slightly more World Baseball Softball Confederation, WBSC, rankings points. And given that the two teams are separated by almost the thinnest of margins, I did have this up in front of me, but my page, of course, has refreshed. They're in 17th and 18th place in the world rankings, and separated by a grand total of 33 rankings points. There is a lot here to suggest that these two teams are very close. They are currently ranked 4th and 5th in Europe, here playing for 5th place in this tournament. So reflective really of how much hard work it takes to get to 5th place. Both teams sent a junior team to a World Cup this year. Next year, GB will send its under-23 team to a World Cup. These are programs that are competing internationally on the global stage.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so interesting, right? And then, like you say, both of the teams are really equaled out, and yeah, that's why we're looking forward to a hopefully close game.
So let's have a look at the two rosters. Matthias will show the starting lineup for Germany, and then I'll go through the defensive alignment for Great Britain.
Yeah, leading off for Team Germany, as we see here, just receiving the first pitch is Elias Huber. Hitting second is Alex Schmidt, the shortstop. At the number 3 spot is DH Yannick Walter. Hitting fourth is Lukas Dunn in right field. Number 5, Simon Baumgart, the third baseman. Hitting 6, Simon Bäumer at first base. Hitting 7th, Eric Brank in left field. As we see Elias Huber taking the first strike here in this bat. Finished off the lineup is number 8, Lou Helmick in center field, and Maurice Brandreen behind the dish today.
And so the first two pitches of the game are in. 1-1 count to Elias Huber. He takes a pitch up and outside from the GB starter Matteo Sollecito, son of long-time national team player and coach Pietro Sollecito. Big right-hander comes set, 2-1, fires in. Ball laced down the right field line and foul. Tell you more about Sollecito in just a moment. GB around the infield starts with the battery, Sollecito and Will Cresswell. Then from first around the horn is Julian Sanders, Michael Flaherty, Christopher Bear and Nick Wood. Kennard Dawson, Max Vieira and Cole Leclerc in the outfield from left to right. Worth mentioning before I talk about his son, Matteo, but Pietro, of course, also the women's head coach, earning gold Baseball Championship, the Women's Continental Tournament earlier this year. A fantastic accomplishment for the GB women and one of 2 gold medals won alongside the Under-23 European Championship. Germany its share of high-level competition in the under-18 team to the World Cup. And much of this team, as we'll talk about over the course of the game, a product of the ever impressive German youth level of the national team. Pitch bounced in front of the plate. Count goes full. What do we know about Huber so far in the tournament?
Yeah, basically just missed out on the U18 World Cup because he's just a bit older than that. Just became 20 years old this year, so he's a really young standout for Team Germany. And yeah, started at second base in almost every game but one game, as he takes first base in the meantime. So a young standout, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why the German future seems to be bright.
So 0-0 count to the new batter Alexander Schmidt. Frequent leadoff hitter in this lineup, but over the many years in which he has been the starting shortstop for Germany, quite frequently in the 1, 2, 8 or 9 holes, given his ability to make contact, get on base, and then change the game with his speed. Here moved down to 2, cold strike for the first pitch.
Yeah, Bundestrainer Jendrik Speer flipped the lineup a little bit for yesterday's game, as Schmidt was leading off the first couple games and Huber was hitting second. They just swapped places.
When they're high, GB head coach Bradley Marcelino did more or less the exact same thing, with the hopes of somehow surviving the tough games yesterday. Each head coach really changing the lineups quite a bit. And today we get another modifications, but that's also partly to make sure that everyone on the roster has at least some chance of getting a little playing time.
Yeah, for Team Germany, the roster during the tournament changed a little bit, as we were talking about the past games. Lou Helmich and Simon Baumgart just joined the team before the quarterfinals, and they obviously went into the lineup, and that was at first point Elias Huber was removed and Danny Langhorst, while Alex Schmidt drives that ball to right field, but right at British right fielder Paul Leclerc for the first start of the inning.
So 1 down against Lesotho, and Germany's brand shining prospect Yannick Walter steps in. Today the DH, regularly a catcher. He has flashed all 5 tools in this tournament. It's very clear why the Milwaukee Brewers are excited about him, Matthias.
Yeah, currently playing in single A for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he showed it in so many ways. Cutting down runners at second base, catching the games for his pitchers, and yeah, not the least, hitting .409 with 2 homers already, and also yesterday being really clutch. Had 3 hits yesterday, and yeah, was just unlucky against Italy, you have to say, hitting 3 line drives into the defenders. So he's really a standout for the German team in this tournament.
An absolute thriller, as that curveball is brought down low by Cresswell, but not quite low enough. And that is ball 1 on Walter. He has very clearly been one of the most exciting young players in this tournament. A lot of wows from the crowd when he's on the field. And here steps up with a runner on first base in Huber. Yesterday, it's worth mentioning that these 2 teams suffered, 2 days ago these teams suffered really heartbreaking losses. And that led them now to the bracket where they're fighting for 5th. But yesterday, both teams victorious with a thrilling 10-9 victory over Israel, which is a team that has continued to put up runs, as this 3-0 pitch popped foul. Walter had a green light there. Not a great swing on a 3-0 pitch. Usually the rule is if you've got a green light on 3-0, you better drive it to the outfield. And so Germany surviving a relentless Israel and walking it off in the bottom of the 9th inning yesterday, 10-9. Meanwhile, GB, with a much lower scoring game but similarly close, survives Croatia 3-2. A day before, both teams in the quarterfinals in just incredibly tough series of matchups in this European Baseball Championship. Italy defeating Germany 1-0. A single run in the second inning was all that either team could score, while Spain posted 5 in the third against GB to win 7-0. 1-0 pitch is fouled off to Dunn, hitting cleanup today as the right fielder. Cold strike, 1-2 from Solacito.
Yeah, Lucas Dunn played kind of the hero yesterday, the walk-off hero, although it was not a base hit, but he put the ball in play, and that was when Germany scored a winning run in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
No player in baseball would say no to an 0-for-1 game-winning RBI day. And Dunn contributed a lot more than just the RBI yesterday and across the tournament. Swing and a miss. Good recovery for Solacito. And he leaves runner stranded in the top of the first. Let's keep it here to go over the GB lineup and German defensive placement. It'll be Nick Ward leading off, playing third base. First baseman Julian Sanders. DH is Quinn Allen. Max Vieira hitting cleanup, followed by Will Cresswell, the catcher, and the second baseman Michael Flaherty. Final three in the lineup are the left fielder Kennard Dawson, the right fielder Cole Leclerc, and the shortstop Christopher Bear. For Germany in defense,
The German defense, like we used to, Simon Bäumer guarding first base. At second base, we have Elias Huber. The shortstop is Alex Schmidt. At third base is Simon Baumgart. And the outfield from left to right, Eric Brank, Lou Helmich, and Lucas Dunn. Behind the dish for the first time, as mentioned, Maurice Bendreen. And pitching today for Team Germany is Mark Harrison.
so we have the right-hander Harrison on the mound. At this point, a long-time veteran of Germany, despite only being 25 years old. Feels like I've been covering him since he was only a lad, and well, that's true, except he's looked like a man since his mid-teenagers. I don't have Harrison's bio in front of me, but big, tall, lanky 25-year-old with plenty of international experience, as well as at the U.S. university level. What do we look for out of Harrison today?
Harrison, one of the big parts of the Deutsche Baseball Academy in Paderborn. Born in Paderborn, grew up there. Tall guy on the mound, fastball that's touching 90s. And yeah, he had a great showing against Spain. We saw that, pitching 7 innings there. Really outstanding game we saw from Harrison there. He did not give up an earned run versus Spain, which tells you a lot about Harrison and his adjustment he made over the course of the years. And as you mentioned, he's almost a veteran in the meantime in a still very young German squad.
This is a point about Germany, is that you're going to hear a lot of ages starting with 2 and possibly even 1, like Elias Huber. And it is a young team which has been aggressively pushed through the youth system at the national team level and with the German Bundesliga clubs, and it is really starting to pay off now. Back-to-back quarterfinal appearances for Germany. GB, a different approach, but similarly reliant on age. Instead, it's looking at U.S. university players, be they developed in the UK or the US. And the 0-1 pitch, I believe, is a ball. It is now ruled a ball. 1-1 to Nick Ward. head coach Bradley Marcelino pushing GB's two most dangerous hitters to the top of the lineup as opposed to previously hitting them 2 and 5. Nick Ward in this tournament, 286 average, but a 400 on base percentage, 619 slugging. He's 6 for 19 with 4 doubles and a home run. Skies a ball to left center field. Four fielders converging, but it is, as one might expect, the center fielder Helming coming in to make that catch. So F8 by Ward, who got under that one a little bit. So Ward retired, and it brings up the player who, as of yesterday, and I'm checking as we have multiple live games happening now whether this is still true, but he finished yesterday as in a tie for the leader in hits in the tournament. Julian Sanders has an incredible 12 hits in this competition. Apologies, 13 hits. That's right, he had one late in the game to take the tournament lead. He is 13 for 23, a 565 average. That is incredible over any stretch. Anytime one hits 500 over more than, say, 4 at-bats, that is impressive. To do so over a span of 23 at-bats is remarkable. So Sanders fouls the 1-0 pitch back. He's tied for 3rd all-time in hits in a tournament by a GB national team player. And here, lines the ball to deep right center field, but it hangs up long enough for Lucas Dunn to grab it. So the line out to right field means Sanders will not get on base. That was a good bit of defensive positioning, and then just a very calm finish to that by Dunn in right field.
Yeah, really nice shot by Sanders off the bat. I thought there was a gap written on it, and then, yeah, just a couple steps for Lucas Dunn. It was seemingly positioned very well. Just caught it in front of the warning track.
I was a little surprised, actually, because same as you, I thought that was more over towards center field. But in this case, Sanders, who sprays the ball truly, Germany's coaching staff, led by Jendrik Speer, aware of this and had the fielders ready for it. 1-0 pitch to Allen, the DH. The ball on the ground to the right-hand side. Simon Boehmer fields it, stumbles a little bit, and then throws over to the pitcher Harrison. That wasn't the most beautiful defensive play I've seen. It was a dogged play all the way to the end, stay with the ball, and get the out in the end.
An easy play in this case is was already diving behind Simon Boehmer, so that was probably meant for the gap. But great job also by Mark Harrison to be there at first base and cover first base and to get out of the inning without any damage.
And so it is 0-0 after 1 inning. We'll be back in a moment for the top of the second. Welcome back to Rotterdam European Baseball Championship action. heading into the top of the second inning, it's Simon Baumgart, Simon Bäumer, and Eric Brenk for Germany, the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Germany thus far in this tournament, I think it would be fair to say, has scored runs when it needs to, but isn't necessarily a team that comes out of the gate scorching hot, as this ball grounded to shortstop, and it is bare throwing on the run to first base. Yet another very nice play from GB's sure-handed shortstop. But this might be a game in which, with some slight changes to the lineup, and with 5th place on the line, that there's probably a little bit of pressure to maybe get something going as quickly as possible, get a bit of breathing room for the team.
Yeah, Germany kind of proved that wrong in the first game against Czechia, where they came out of the gates right away swinging. But this, usually it's not the case. You're right. Usually it takes the time to develop the offense and also to have a look at the for the German offense. And yeah, but you're right. They always manage to score some runs. Beside in that one game in the quarterfinals versus Italy, but yeah, usually the offense knows what to do.
1-0 pitch, a nice breaking ball over the lowest part of the plate. Slow and steady wins the race is the slogan, or could be, if all of these terms were summed up by lines from Aesop's fables. Another breaking pitch, this one hammered to the left-hand side, but the second baseman, Michael Flaherty, making a nice sliding catch at second baseman. Beautiful play there to rob a hit from Simon Bäumer.
Yeah, awesome play here by Michael Flaherty, who plays in Germany for the Hamburg Steelers, played in Germany the last season. So he knows Simon Bäumer. Sometimes they are probably shooting the ball to the gap. So really, really good play by the British defense.
Also a very gentlemanly golfer there, replacing the dip where his spikes carved up a little bit of shallow right field. Always good to cover your tracks, both on the golf course and baseball field. 0-0 pitch is a breaking ball, or possibly a changeup, but it's low for 1-0. To Eric Brenk, who takes more or less the exact same pitch again.
Yeah, Eric Brenk, the German team leader, as was named team captain a couple of years ago. Long-time veteran, hitting 63 for the tournament. And yeah, and yesterday also, Eric Brenk was really fueling the offense, stealing 3 bases when he got on. It was really dangerous, and yeah, manufactured a 1 run by himself. It was really important.
Significant in a 1-run game, be it a 1-0 loss as in 2 days ago, or a 9-8 win as of yesterday. (10-9) in fact, as Matthias quite rightly corrects me. 5-pitch work to Brenk here, and as Matthias has indicated, he has game-changing speed and also instincts. I think it could be quite interesting to see whether he's active on the base paths here with 2 down. With the 8-hitter coming up, it's almost a sense of why not. It's early in the game. Test and see whether GB can react quickly. Cresswell hasn't really had much of a chance to show off his arm one way or the other in this tournament. He's not been tested as much as most catchers have. 2 throws back, though, suggest that GB is thinking exactly what Matthias was. The German team manager will be pleased at how filthy Eric Brenk has made his jersey already. No challenge. It's just no fun when you're doing the team laundry.
All day, every day, again and again in a tournament like this.
And back for a 3rd time.
It's dirty now anyway, so
yes,
we can keep doing that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There's no pitch clock as well, so.
Very true, and we have seen that. Full evidence of that in this tournament. Most games over 3 hours. In fact, virtually every game over 3 hours in this tournament. Ball slide to the left-hand side. This will actually stay in. It looked like it was going to blow out. Nick Ward catches that foul pop-up from Lou Helmig on what was the first pitch. So that is 3 down in the bottom part of the inning. Once again, Germany leaving a runner on base via the base and balls. We'll head to the bottom of the second with GB batting in just a moment. Bottom of the second, GB will send Max Vieira, Will Cresswell, and Michael Flaherty up to the plate. Gabriel Fiedler alongside Matthias Ondrzejczyk for the call here in the 5th place case from the European Baseball Championship. Get a hold of me at Extra Innings UK as this ball is lined to right center field. It's going to hang up. The ball not carrying quite as well as it did this morning in the Israel and Croatia game. Apologies there for, as it took me a moment to get my brain cogs turning. So a line out. Once again, looked like that ball was in the gap. Might have a chance to really do some damage with the ball. Hanging up a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't know. The last days I thought the wind is blowing in so much that while the ball wasn't carrying, especially in the stadium. In the second field, I had a feeling that the balls are carrying, but today, yeah, seemingly something's different.
Earlier in the day, there was a little bit more in terms of the outfield, but it seems a little deader here in this second game. Oddly, as it was very moist and clammy this morning, that would have an adverse effect and we'd see more balls flying. I wouldn't be surprised though if we do see a long ball at some point as Cresswell waves at 1 and 2. Get in contact at Extra Innings UK and let us know for whom you are cheering, whether you play for or cheer for a club team in one of these countries or anything else you'd like to know about German or British baseball or about the European Baseball Championship. Would love to hear from you. That's been one of my favorite parts, is hearing from you. You can also find me on Facebook, Messenger, Gabriel Fiedler. So 2-2 pitch quite well. Fastball right at the knees. I do think just a little bit low, but Ben Dean selling that well. I think pretty much everyone on Germany thought that had a shot. Back going, he has hit a few balls that look to cause some potential damage. Thus far in the tournament, though, he is 2 for 20. Starting catcher every day, though. Drafted by the Blue Jays out of Washington State. His minor league debut with a few games over the summer. And the exact same pitch, but just a tad higher. That time, from my perspective, very clearly cold strike 3.
Cold strike 3, a good pitch, like right at the location where Maurice Bendrine wanted it. So that gives Mark Harrison his first KO of the game.
8 pitches, 9 in the previous one. Harrison working efficiently and fairly quickly. Very hurry this tournament, but Harrison is a little bit quicker than average. Cold strike 1 to Michael Flatt, a product of the London Youth Baseball League and a member of the London Mets, 9-time consecutive champions of the National Baseball League of Britain. As this one popped up to the top of the infield, it'll be Schmidt coming in, dancing a few steps forward on his toes. We have yet another 9-pitch, 3 up, 3 down in this inning. Mark Harrison looking great on the mound for Germany through 2 complete and back in just a moment. Top of the 3rd inning, scoreless game between Germany and Great Britain in the battle for 5th place at the European Baseball Championship. It is Maurice Bendrine, Elias Huber, and Alexander Schmidt, 9-1-2 for Germany against Matteo Solecito.
It's Bendrine's first at-bat in the tournament as Vinny Ahrens and Yannick Walter were sharing catching duties in the course of the tournament. So he's getting his start in.
It's a very hard position to crack the lineup for Germany. 2 very talented catchers who are still fairly young, though in Ahrens' case, similarly to Boima, it feels like and Brenk, it feels like they've been around forever. But good to see Germany's 3rd catcher getting one here, as it is like back-to-back. We have a new pitcher, which explains why that half inning was a little bit longer. We were discussing that it just seemed like it was taking a while. Well, neither of us noticed, given that it was a mid-inning pitching change in the 2nd, or after the 2nd, as that ball just barely poked foul by Bendrine, that we have a new pitcher. It is Chris Messer, who has played also for the London Mets, teammate of Michael Flaherty, now at second base game. Of champions in the National League. Did not play in GB this year for a variety of reasons, but the past 3 seasons he was a mainstay and almost without a doubt the best pitcher in the National Baseball League of the British Baseball Federation. So wearing number 38, he comes in. We can close the book on Matteo Celestito. 2 scoreless innings, 2 walks and a K. So a quick appearance. Quite a number of GB pitchers have not had many innings, so this may simply be an opportunity to make sure that everyone gets a shot. Messer can deal, throws a good fastball that sits in the low 90s. Very good control. One of the better control pitchers on the team. And as we go through, I suspect we will see a breaking pitch and a changeup from him as well. Well, slapped right as Bendrine stays alive. What can you tell us about Germany's third catcher?
Yeah, Bendrine had a, let's put it like this, a lot talked about move from the Untouchables Paderborn to the Bonn Capitals. Also appeared as a star in a documentary done by MLB Europe, available in the MLB Playroom and on baseball.de.
This ball blooped into right field down the line. That is a leadoff single against new pitcher Chris Messer.
So yeah, Maurice Bendrine got a lot of attention with that move, obviously between the rivals from Paderborn and Bonn. But yeah, had a good showing in his first season in Bonn, slashing .311, and maintains a position as the third catcher in the German national team, as he was doing so already for the WBC qualifier in Tucson.
So he reaches here. Check out that fascinating piece by MLB Europe on Germany's baseball rivalry. It's been wonderful to see more coverage by MLB Europe as well as MLB.com, with the latter thanks to the wonderful and enthusiastic Michael Clare. Hello to Michael if you're listening. Swing and a miss now on 0-1 to Elias Huber. And what you are seeing here from Messer is exactly what the game plan was, which is come in and challenge the hitters through strikes. Germany much more likely to solve him with a hit, I think, than have a free base awarded. Huber walked his first time up. This ball high and outside.
Yeah, Huber is also a pretty young hitter, but he's also a pretty patient hitter, which shows he's well matured already for his young age. Does not swing it usually. Picks his pitches very well. He swings that.
One-two pitch, high and outside, missed by much on either axis.
Huber is also just starting his college career in the U.S. as he went on to Arizona after the season for the Gauting Indians in the Deutsche Baseball League. Come back for this European Championship from this.
Hopefully his lecturers will have given him a pass to not turn in homework for a few days. Wonder whether Hay and Zev Moore and the Israel team shared study tips as one of a number of teenage players on loan from university. The U.S. university system starts in roughly the third week of August, much earlier than in Europe. Ball fouled off. 6 pitches now. In Britain, our term is only just now starting. First years arriving. Germany, I know, also a later start than in the U.S. To interrupt that, I can say as a lecturer, my marking went on pause for a couple of days here in Rotterdam. Marking is grading to those of you listening from the U.S. called strike 3. Change up, very low. Called out. It was a very nice pitch, but might have had a little bit help from Will Cresswell, the Blue Jays young catcher.
Yeah, it was a nice pitch with 2 strikes, probably too close to take, but yeah, good job here by British reliever. I was mentioning Elias Huber usually picks his pitches very well, so he just throws him here, Chris Messer, for his first strikeout.
Sometimes a great pitch is a great pitch, and it is hard to know sometimes whether it will be in the zone. Ball bounced to Alexander Schmidt. So we are back to the top of the lineup now. 2-hitter in Schmidt, who flew to right field last time. Ball not carrying here thus far, but perhaps that will change over the course of the afternoon. I had been wondering if Bendrine would go in motion at some point, and he indeed does, as Schmidt pulls the ball off.
It looked like the hit and run play was on for Germany, as Alex Schmidt was pretty late here. Try to put the ball the opposite way.
Here you may hear the thrum of the helicopter overhead. We are right next to Rotterdam Airport. Ball low, I believe. So 0-0 ball game after 2 innings. Germany and Great Britain, a rematch of the 2023 semi-final in Brno as Messer fires back. Messer's pick off third of first is one of the few which, particularly when sitting behind first base as we are now, looks like a regular wind-up but thrown to first base. Normally pitchers have a bit of a different throw, but as we see again here, Messer turning and firing a fastball over. Stepping into foul territory after calling time is Bendrine to talk to his first base coach. You don't actually often see that, really, a player calling time and then stepping off to have a chat, but here we do, and the 26-year-old Bendrine from Frankfurt leading off. 2-1 count now. Nice there, low in the zone. More or less the exact pitch in which Huber was ruled out. Clearly going to be an important part of the game plan for Messer. Fouled off now. Two. Pace noticeably slowed down in this inning. We got through 2 full innings in 30 minutes, which was neck speed for the European Baseball Championship, where there was no pitch clock. Ball hit through the left side. GB hoping for a double play. Bear pulled up the middle, but I think that ball may very well have gone through anyway, and the speedy Alexander Schmidt has Germany's second hit of the inning.
Yeah, nice job, Alex Schmidt, to put the ball here in the 6th hole. No chance for the British defense to get to that.
And so Germany now a threat, 1 down, first and second. No doubt manager Speer and third base coach for Germany, which is, I believe, Maurice Wilhelm? Or is it Speer? Yes, it is Wilhelm. No doubt wishing that the hit and run a couple pitches before had still been on, as that would have been first and third. Still a runner in scoring position, only 1 down now. And the very dangerous Yannick Voltaire at the plate.
Yeah, that's the guy you want here. His team Germany is hoping to score the first run with a runner in scoring position here in the 3rd inning.
So he steps in, having popped to first base on a 3-0 count, his first time up, but having a much better tournament than that.
Yeah, collected 6 RBI already. Home twice. So he's leading the Team Germany in that categories.
6 RBI in 5 games is a great rate and very much what Germany is hoping for over, let's say, the next dozen years or so from Voltaire.
Yeah.
Very much the future face with Max Kepler of the Philadelphia Phillies now near the end of his career. Could Voltaire, as this ball is cold strike on the outside part of the plate, could Voltaire be the next German in the big leagues? Several minor league prospects. It'll be a few years with Voltaire. A catcher generally takes a little bit longer. However, he's already turning heads amongst European pro scouts, amongst the roughly 24 Europeans in the minor leagues. The Brewers also have another German pitcher for whom there might be a very good chance that they form an all-German battery in the Milwaukee Brewers system.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paul Hoff, you're talking about, also Paul Schmitz in the U.S. minor league systems or in the United States playing over there for college ball. That two really standout pitching talents for Germany. That unfortunately cannot be here, but hopefully in the future.
They were big losses, but a testament to Germany's youth program as this ball low. Cresswell really wanted it. From this angle, didn't look like much of a threat to turn the umpire's head. Behind the plate is Carlos Quinones. First base is Andrea Caser. The second base umpire is Marek Vichar, and third base Stefan Leroy. Three scorekeepers in this game: Karin Kiemann, Jeanette van Drunen, and Stefan Schlinger. A visit to the mound by GB's pitching coach Connor Brooks, an international scout for the Kia Tigers. Previously a scout in the U.S. For U.S. MLB organizations. Came aboard in 2021 at the invitation of former Dartmouth teammate Drew Spencer, who managed GB for several major tournaments before accepting a job in the Yankees player development system, the second consecutive head coach following Liam Carroll to be scooped up by a major league team after his work with GB Baseball. Bradley Marcelino, the current head coach, already a scout in an MLB organization for the Diamondbacks. Raised, like Liam Carroll, in Britain, grew up playing British baseball, then went to junior college and four-year college, and then worked his way up through major D1 collegiate baseball into a job with a major league organization. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off to the right side. Bases now loaded for Lucas Dunn. Good situation here for Germany, Matthias.
Yeah, obviously, good situation with the bases loaded in the top of the third and just one out here. That's those situations you should use in a supposedly tight game like that. As it was also the third inning where Germany loaded the bases versus Italy in that game, and there all game long they were talking about the situation that they couldn't score.
This ball skied to right field. Should be deep enough to score a run. It is very deep right field. All three runners tagging, but only the lead ones go. There'll be a at the plate. The right fielder Leclerc with a fantastic throw from right field, right in the very far corner on a line. Couple bounces to home plate, and that ball barely misses despite the wheels of Ben Dreen. Really bang play there, and a sacrifice fly for Lucas Dunn.
Yeah, great job by Lucas Dunn. We were just talking about somehow you need to get a run in when you got the bases loaded, less than 2 outs, and yeah, that's at least you want to hit Zach Fly, and that was deep enough. But yeah, a great play, like you mentioned. It was really close at the plate. I didn't think in the beginning when the ball was caught.
At this point, from where we were sitting, I wonder whether that was dropping or not, whether there would be a play at the plate. Moving over to third is Alexander Schmidt. Yannick Walter staying at first base. So we have 2 down now, but the Germans on the board, 1-0. This now a chance for Germany to add a couple runs as opposed to the Italy game in which a bases loaded situation became something to regret over the course of the game. Could this be a launch pad for the Deutschlanders? And Simon Baumgart will have something to say about that.
Yeah, Simon Baumgart's star kind of raised in last year's Prague Baseball Week. There he was the best hitter for Team Germany, and he continued his great showing in the World Baseball Classic qualifier in Tucson. And he was, greeted with a contract in Indy Ball for that performance.
Multiple players signing professional contracts out of the European Baseball Championship. Nick Ward for GB 2 years ago earned another shot in the minors and moved back to independent ball with excellent results at both stops the last 2 years. Simon Baumgart also using this to play some professional baseball. Will we see some other free agents competing in the European Baseball Championship to sign contracts? There's a swing and a miss on 2-0. Green light there for Baumgart. Swing, but couldn't quite catch the changeup from Mesa.
Yeah, Baumgart had 2 hits yesterday in the win against Israel. He went 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. For the tournament, he's flashing 222. Mentioning only playing in his 3rd game, as he was playing in his Indy Ball season, still in the finals with the Idaho Falls Chuckers.
Ball fouled off here on 2-1. Now, it's slow to a crawl with so much at stake here. Mesa taking his time this inning. German hitters taking their time.
And Yannick Walter uses it to get the oven mitt on his left hand.
Exactly right. Runner coming out from the dugout to help him out with that. Cold strike 3 to Simon Baumgart. What a way to end that. The umpire made the call. It took everyone a moment to actually realize that that had been made. That looks like it was an outside pitch to the third baseman, Matthias. And that is the end of the rally, but 1 run does score for Germany. It does so on 2 hits and a walk. We're back for the bottom of the 3rd in just a moment. 7-8-9 for GB in the bottom of the third, now down 1-0 to Germany. Kennard Dawson, Cole Leclerc, and Christopher Bär.
Yeah, we were still talking a little bit about this situation. Bases loaded, yeah, looking strikeout. Germany at least managed to get one run across. Yeah, but that's definitely the situation where you would have hoped for more as from the German point of view. So let's see what Great Britain can do to just counter that.
It'll send Dawson in, who is bunting on 1-0, but a two-seamer rode in on his hands, and he pulled the bat back. I wouldn't be surprised still to maybe see him bunt his way aboard, even after fouling that ball off down the left field line. He has game-changing speed, as those of you watching last night will have seen against Croatia, scoring the game's first run. Dawson has not played nearly as much in this tournament as he has previously. Still an important part of this GB lineup, but just could not crack it as this ball popped down the third baseline. The third baseman Baumgart feels it after a big bounce, but Dawson deadening it. So although he pops it up, it just died. It almost nested in the grass after landing.
Yeah, it was definitely not the greatest bunt, but as you mentioned, he really can run. He has wheels. So yeah, that was enough to get on first base with ease, basically.
I'm a little surprised actually that Baumgart was playing back as far as he was, considering that Dawson, along with the hitter in the on-deck circle, Christopher Bär, and a handful of other players in the tournament, like France's center fielder Leo Geminian, and a back pick here, almost went into right field against Dawson, who really wasn't actually that far off. These three, amongst another 3 or 4 hitters across these teams, are hitters that there is about a 50-50 shot that they might bunt in any given at-bat. So I think that was a bit of a blown defensive positioning here. I would like to take off at some point during this AB and maybe give Cole Leclerc a runner in scoring position as he takes 2 consecutive balls. Harrison threw only 19 pitches through the first 2, 6 through 1+ hitters here, and 4 outside of the zone, and another one there. Just not looking quite as sharp as he did the first 2. It's a subtle difference, but we'll see whether Harrison can make the adjustments, as Matthias noted he can do.
Yeah, the bunt single also was the first hit for Team GB, basically the first base runner for Team GB. So, yeah, maybe Harrison just has to take a breather. And then it's also sometimes, you know, with starters, it was a longer break the last inning. They loaded the bases. There was a lot of action, a long inning. So that's typical for a starter, basically. It takes a while to get back into the rhythm after an inning like that.
Very good point, as we see a loopy throw, as one has to throw over once making the motion. But that was a 20-minute half inning in the top half. That's quite a long time for a pitcher to hit. So, gimme 3-0 strike to Leclerc, makes it 3-1. The left-hander steps in and receives a cold 2. That may have been a slider on 3-1. Nice confidence there by Harrison. Cole Leclerc looking for his first hit in the tournament. As yet another throw to first base, I'm not really surprised to see that. Leclerc stepping up from this year's gold medal winning under-23 team to make his senior national team debut. And Germany getting an out there, Matthias.
Yeah, as we saw that Kennard Dawson was taken off, as we probably could have expected with a full count and less than 2 outs. So he took off, and that's the reason why Germany did not have a chance of turning a double play here and just got the out at first.
So 6-3 goes the out. Dawson now the game time run on second base. Christopher Bär stepping up. Bär, a debutant on this roster and has played shortstop every day. Really been superb at up the middle for GB. One of the better defenders in this tournament. He bunts. I indicated that he might. And drops it down foul. I think there's a very good chance he could run that out. Baumgart once again playing really deep for the lower part of this GB lineup, which has good speed. Also kneeling down and tying his shoelaces. I didn't actually see a call for time, though I do now from third base umpire Stefan Laroque. I actually saw first was Mark Harrison looking doing that. So I'll put the rubber and give him a moment. So always good to see teams look out for each other. 0-1 now to Christopher Bear. Pretty pitch there from Harrison. One of the nicer ones we've seen, Matthias.
Yeah, nice job by Harrison to get ahead early in the count here. As Great Britain has, for the first time in this game, a scoring position. So you don't want to fall behind in the count, obviously. And strikes him out on 3 pitches.
Good spot there for Harrison to get his second K. 2 down around second now for the top of the lineup in Nick Ward. Power hitting and speedy third baseman, really all-around player for GP.
Yeah, Ward flew out to center field in his first time up. As we remember, both of us thought that ball might have had a chance to gap, so yeah, he really squared it up in his first time facing Mark Harrison in this game.
Ward in the last European Championship went whopping 11 for 21. Had 2 doubles and 4 home runs, one of those a solo shot in the championship game. Not enough to propel GB to victory, but he has been an absolute find by Drew Spencer, retained by Bradley Marcelino. You can tell his feelings representing GB. Anytime he takes his hat off and he has what Americans would call a do-rag in the Union flag over his head. Passionate team captain for GB, stepping in left-handed hitter. 6 for 21 in this tournament, 11 for 21 in the last tournament. For GB, in 11 career games in European Championships, he's hitting .405 with a .905 slugging percentage. That is game-changing power as he takes a pitch low from Mark Harrison.
And all that cost pitching coach Clemens Cichocki from the German team before this at bat to come out to talk to Mark Harrison how to approach Ward here.
So, home plate umpire Quinones looking down to first base, and Kasser indicating he did go 1-1. Off by Ward. Harrison, like Messer, has really slowed down in this inning. He's already thrown 14 pitches, up to only 33 for the game in 2 2/3. Cheers from the other field, and I believe that is a final. A shocker on Field 1 at Neptunus Familiestadion as the Czech Republic comes back from a 32-0 deficit after 1 inning against mighty Spain and surges to a 9-2 win. Congratulations to Baseball Czech on its first ever bronze medal at the European Baseball Championship. The team had never before appeared in a semi-final. Earned a victory leading into that. Lost a heartbreaker yesterday, but here comes back for the bronze. And the right fielder, Lucas Dunn, gets Germany out of the inning with a flyout to right field from Nick Ward. So 1-0 Germany through 3. Let's keep it here for a moment, though, and talk about this great Czech Republic team, Matthias. It feels like for so long the Czechs have been on the verge of unseating Italy and the Netherlands, and then to a slightly lesser extent Germany, GB, and Spain in that really elite core of European baseball. And both of us said before the game, we just couldn't believe that the Czechs had never won a bronze medal and never appeared in a semi-final until this tournament.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday when the Czech Federation communicated on social media. It was the first semi-final for the Czechs at the European Championship. I really could not believe it. Of course, there were not always semi-finals played, but we looked it up. They were only finishing fourth once and basically had the fifth place occupied all the time. And yeah, obviously everybody knows the Czech after their participation in the World Baseball Classic, they became somehow European baseball darling with a great showing. They're playing with great effort. So really, advertising European baseball in the world. So I think I speak for everyone when really congrats to the Czech Republic for winning their first ever medal at the European Championship. Wow, I cannot believe it.
It's a homegrown roster. It has a single major leaguer on the team, Eric Sogard, who's been part of things for so long. It has one single U.S. university pitcher and one naturalized Czech citizen who's lived in the Czech Republic for quite a long time. That's Ryan Johnson, who was side by side with me on the call from Brno timeout. This is a team that has been put together and worked on for so many years by Pavel Kadim and the rest of the Baseball Czech organization. I was going over before this game started with Matthias the finishes for Czech Republic since debuting in the senior, I should say the highest level of European baseball at the national team level in 1997, coming up from the B pool qualifiers in 1997 with 12 teams in the tournament from 1997 through 2019. The Czechs worked the way up, generally finishing in the lower portion of the top 8, 7, 8, 5, 6, 12. But since 2012, the team has finished 5th, 4th, 5th, 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 and 5th. Coming in 3rd. I do think that this is a team that absolutely everyone in Europe, regardless of nationality, is cheering for. However, we have here a line drive off the bat. Guess who for Germany? It's Simon Bäumer. To start things off. For GB, I'll tell you more about him in a moment. This is exactly what Germany expects from Bäumer, though, Matthias.
Yeah, great hit here by Simon Bäumer to really put the barrel on the ball and drive it to right field. He came out swinging well in the first game, 2 hits against the Czech. Then he cooled down somewhat a little bit and had a huge yesterday against Israel and collected 4 RBI. So welcome back Simon Bäumer and joining the offensive party here for Team Germany.
And usually he's batting 6th. I can't recall ever seeing him hit 6, not since he was a teenager. But sometimes just a little tinkering is what it takes. In this case, already paying off. Yeah. And this ball lined down the third base line. Ward over to second. Flaherty over to first. Sanders hanging on to it. On the 1-0 pitch, it is a 5-4-3 double play. So just as quickly, Germany with
the race here at second base. That's right. What Great Britain won it, obviously, here with the lead-off man on for Team Germany. Yeah, out of it with a double play. It was just one pitch thrown to Eric Brank here.
So Lou Helming steps in. He's the now 3rd hitter against the new British pitcher, Zach Cameron. Right-hander stepping in. He is one of 11 rookies on the staff. He's already appeared in 3 games in this tournament. I believe he will tie for the tournament lead with a 4th appearance here as he goes up 1-1. He has done just what pitching coach Connor Brooks has hoped for, as GB once again making the mid-inning pitching change. against Israel on day 2, 2 2/3 innings of relief, 1 run on 3 hits and a walk, struck out a batter as we had a foul and 1-1 from Helmig. So the fantastic combination of red sleeves with a red and yellow elbow guard and yellow batting gloves has to be one of the absolute best any player on any team using his national colors in a really eye-catching combination here. As he pokes a ball, almost choked up on that to slap it foul. Against Cameron, who also appeared against Spain, was a steadying force in that game. 2 innings of scoreless relief, run, 2 strikeouts on the 1, and now Germany. I should have, I did not realize that WBSC had already included that amongst his games. So third game now. 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, but only 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Looking for a weak, exactly what he's got. And flailing at the pitch, low and outside. Cameron hops down off the mound. Looked like that's exactly what he was expecting to happen, and nothing really Germany could do to avoid that double play. But it is 3 up, 3 down after the Simon Boma leadoff hit, and we head to the bottom of the 4th back in just a moment. We return for the bottom of the 4th inning. Play gets GB out of it. This ball poked by Julian Sanders off the top of the wall. Misses a home run by only a couple inches, and that ball fired back in so quickly off the line drive. There was actually almost a play at second base by Lou Helmig. So Sanders with his tournament-leading 14th hit. What a jaw-dropping performance in 6 games for Britain's first baseman and right fielder. That ball, Matthias, to the left side, lining out to right center field last time.
Yeah, really ambushed Mark Harrison here on the first pitch. Julian Sanders did not waste any time, just attacked the first pitch and deposits it warning track in left field.
This is why Sanders is so dangerous as Quinn Allen steps in, is because he can take an at-bat and slash a hit or take a walk, or he might swing first pitch. Of his 14 hits, at least 3 have gone to every part of the field. He's hit at least 3 to left, center, and right. And if I were to break that down and put the outfield into 5 zones, left field and then the alleys, center field and right, we would be looking at roughly a similar breakdown, 2 to 3 in every single part of the park. He has become a hit machine for GB. 1-1 count now to Harrison is low.
So yeah, that's gonna be the second chance for Great Britain with a runner in scoring position to tie the game up here after falling behind in the third.
So Quinn Allen stepping in, grounded the first his last time. Not quite gotten the back going in his first tournament for the Lions. 3 for 16, but he has hit a home run. Struck out 5 times in 18 ABs as a big swing and a miss there on a fastball low on 3-1. Sanders has very good wheels. A hit to the right-hand side would score him. I should say to the outfield, the right-hand side would have a good chance of scoring him. Max Vieira on deck. And a ball just missing a little bit low and outside. So a scoring threat. First time that GB has had 2 runners on against Harrison, who retired the first 6 before giving up the bunt hit to Kennard Dawson to lead off the third. That was the first base runner for GB. But here, 2 on. Helps having a quick 1-2-3 inning as a hitting side, because that means one can get back out on offense. That'd be a bit of a momentum shift, wrapping up 2 to start the top of the 4th inning. Max Vieira to the plate. He's played all over the last couple days, had been a second baseman throughout group stage and the quarterfinals, then moved to right field. In last night's game, moved to center field early in the game and now returns to center field. He's a true utility player, has a little bit of everything, can do it all, double-digit home runs in the Atlantic League for High Point Rockers this year. 21 doubles, 3 triples, 5 home runs, 261 average. And for GB in this tournament, has shown speed and the ability to drive the ball. 6 for 21 with 2 doubles, 3 walks and a stolen base. Ball misses well outside of the 1. Will Cresswell on deck. Nobody out now. Germany has the bullpen working as Darren Richards checking in a few pitches ago as he was hovering here in right field in foul territory. I didn't see the call, was slightly screened here, as you've heard so many times over the course of the tournament. It was a ball. 2-1 count, GB ahead in the count yet again. Max Vieira, dangerous hitter with good speed. Julian Sanders, a very speedy first baseman on second base. Ball fouled off. Vieira looking for extra bases there. We're now seeing with that Sanders ball that maybe the ball is going to carry a little bit more. Sanders hit the ball, I would say, as well as Nick Ward and was it Schmidt for the German side, who hit the ball very hard for an out. Lucas Dunn also with a hard hit ball to the outfield, just didn't carry. Maybe we will. A bit of a breeze I can feel here in the broadcast booth blowing against our faces very, very lightly, but it's going home to right field, so maybe towards the right side we might see something. I don't know about you, but after the wind and the heavy playing such a role over the first week of the tournament, I wouldn't mind actually seeing a little bit of extra base power, maybe the sirens going off over these last 2 games in Rotterdam.
Yeah, maybe, and it also feels there's 1 or 2 degrees warmer than the last couple of days, so
That's
usually
right.
then the ball is flying a bit further. But as we see now for Team Germany, Mark Harrison loads the bases with a walk here to Max Vieira.
So not a great start, and I wouldn't be at all surprised as we see a visit to the mound and a wave if we do in fact have a pitching change. possibly a batter too late, actually, but it's easy to say these things in retrospect, Matthias.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Harrison did an outstanding job
He did.
for the first 3 innings, just surrendering 1 bunt single, so there was no reason to react on that. Obviously, the lead-off double here caused some trouble. Then, yeah, 2 walks were too much now for Bundestrainer Jendrik Speer, and he takes Mark Harrison out of the game. But yeah, good performance by Harrison, and he had pitched a gem versus Spain, basically throwing over 100 pitches, though he had 4 days rest. But yeah, you never know what role this plays in the course of a tournament.
He didn't look particularly tired, to be honest. That's the Mark Harrison that I've seen pitch any number of times over the last 6 years, I think, since I first saw him throw. And as you said, really just a fantastic job through 3. These things turn on a knife's edge, don't they, Matthias? 3 innings of almost unhittable baseball from Mark Harrison. Then suddenly a first pitch leadoff double by a tournament MVP candidate in Julian Sanders. If GB was playing in a medal game, very, very good chance that he would be MVP. Instead, it will almost certainly be, depending on tonight's outcome, Giaconino La Saracina of Italy, who leads the tournament with 5 home runs. There's so much left to say in the nightcap. And then back-to-back walks, he just suddenly couldn't find the zone. Wasn't missing by a lot, but just not quite as sharp.
You know, we were talking about the importance of this 5th place game still, so you cannot waste any time as a manager, especially in the last game of the tournament for both of the teams. You can empty the tank in all ways, and especially in emptying the bullpen out. And yeah, 2 walks in that situation just caused Jendrik Speer to react. And yeah, Team Germany also has a pitching staff, and they did not really use too many of them. Usually the starters went 7 innings. We had 1 reliever on through 2 innings. Yesterday we saw 2 relievers in Dirk von Schamann and Cesar Aquino. Yeah, but now it's time for another young man in the German roster to shine. We see Philipp Kleehaupt on the mound. I assume it's Philipp Kleehaupt.
20 years old, from Gauting, Germany, a member of the Gauting Indians. Had just an incredible performance. I think incredible is the right word here for a 20-year-old in the Bundesliga this year. He was 8-6, but wins and losses not reflective of things as they stood. 2.8 ERA, 103 strikeouts in 92 and a third innings for a 20-year-old. That is superb work. And here, pitching in probably the biggest game of his life, certainly at a senior national team stage.
Yeah, he had his debut in the senior national team at the Prague Baseball Week, as we see this ball grounded to third baseman. And double play.
Baumgart to Bendrin to Boehmer, 5-2 to 3, just like it was drawn up in practice.
Just what the doctor ordered here for Team Germany, as Philipp Kleehaupt does exactly what you want to see here when the ball is put in play. Just a slow roller to the third baseman that gives Germany a big chance to get the first out at home plate, which is the most important thing here on this play. And then, to top it off with the double play. Yeah, what can you dream about more in his first appearance in a senior European Championship, Philipp Kleehaupt?
Very, very impressive work from Kleehaupt and the German infield. And so 2 down now, but still runners on second and third for Michael Flaherty, who's worked his way up from the under 23 team in the last 2 tournaments, doing double duty, and now a senior national team appearance for the 2nd consecutive tournament. Flaherty, part of GB's youth movement, from growing up in the Greater London area. Went to Middle Georgia State University in the United States, and then this year, in his final year, hitting .325, 38 RBI in 44 games. And head coach Bradley Marcelino would very much like to have what could be 2 RBI here on any ball hit to the outfield, and instead the 3-0 pitch goes inside. Didn't really look like Kleehaupt had much interest in giving him anything to hit there.
Yeah, of course you don't want to see a 4-pitch walk as a coach, but you're going to be definitely careful with an open first base here with runners on second and third to not give the hitter too much he can handle. So we'll see if this plays out for Team Germany.
Dawson rolls the ball to the right center field gap. It will not get down, however. Lucas Dunn with a great read on it, running more or less the perfect route on a sinking line drive. Really absolutely no way that that ball should have ever been caught. Dunn, however, making it look easy. That is superb right field defense. Wow, Matthias.
Yeah, great job by Lucas Dunn taking that ball down and really helping Philipp Kleehaupt and his team out of this situation, bases loaded situation for Team Germany. And that's a tough pill to swallow for Team Great Britain. Bases loaded, no outs. We were talking about it. Germany had the chance wasted against Italy, and they never got a better chance afterwards.
And so here we go through 4 innings. Could that bottom of the 4th inning be GB's bugaboo? We will have to play the rest of the game to find out. However, we can close the book on Mark Harrison, who does retain his scoreless line in the scorebook. 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. We turn things back over to GB's 3rd pitcher, Zach Cameron, and we'll do so in just a moment. After a thrilling bottom of the 4th inning, it is Germany returning to the plate up 1-0. Maurice Bendrin, Elias Huber, and Alexander Schmidt stepping up. Last time this exact trip through the order did wonders for Germany, Matthias.
Yeah, that was in the 3rd inning when Germany scored their lone run of the game.
This ball hit hard to left field, hangs up a long time for Kennard Dawson. And so we have 1 down here. Zach Cameron coming in and doing a job, getting a double play. Then the next 2 batters out, very similar to Kleehaupt in the bottom half. Both new pitchers turning very quick double plays upon entering.
Now it's Elias Huber's turn to try to get something going for Team Germany. And he swings for the first pitch. Grounded to first base. And an easy unassisted play by Julian Sanders for the quick second out for Team GB.
2 up, 2 down on 3 pitches after a 8-pitch 4th inning. Cameron working much more efficiently than any pitcher thus far, though other than Chris Messer, pretty much everyone has had fairly low pitch counts by the innings. And a high fastball, not getting a call, so 1-0 to Alexander Schmidt.
Schmidt is 1 for 2 today, singled in that 3rd inning we were just talking about.
So cold strike on 1-0.
All in all, Schmidt is slashing 286 in the European Championships.
Nice. 2-seam fastball on the outside part of the plate, right at the knees. 1-2 count now here. 2 down. Cameron deals, fires in. Ball flied to the right-hand side.
So Germany is trying to create something here with 2 outs in the top half of the 5th inning.
One-two pitch. Shortened swing by Schmidt to tap that foul. He's seen a lot of pitches today. 10 in his first 2 at-bats, another 5 already on this one. It's the mark of a comfortable and confident veteran. So Schmidt, 26-year-old veteran. There are several teams as this ball bounced slowly to third base. Nick Ward throws on the run. Julian Santos reaches out, leans down, and that ball will result in a 3-up, 3-down inning. What a great job in relief by Zach Cameron. We head to the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back in just a moment.
What's up, baby? Go get him, Philip.
Stepping in is Cole Leclerc, the 8-hitter for GB. Christopher Bear and Nick Ward due up this inning. So Clayhaupt returns again. It's a big spot for him, Matthias. And this is the kind of appearance that one builds on when looking in subsequent years for preparing a pitching staff. 20-year-old appearing in a 5th place game, really significant for a young pitcher's preparation.
Yeah, and Philipp Clayhaupt really earned this during this year's season. As we were mentioning, the Gauting Indians were really the surprise of the season in the Deutsche Baseball Liga, with also Elias Huber and Tobias Maul coming out of that young team, really homegrown team run by Chris Howard, former longtime national team player for Team Germany, really doing a great job. Philipp Clayhaupt, one of 4 guys in the German league that collected over 100 strikeouts, and yeah, 20 years young, as you were mentioning, and he really deserved this appearance after the season he showed.
And has very much earned this spot. Should be a fixture of German baseball for years to come. Full count now. Misses well high and outside against Cole Leclerc, so he gives up his 2nd walk. One pitcher fiddling around, let's say, in the GB bullpen. Another one kind of kicking his heels, an early set of stretches. We cannot see the German bullpen. However, a runner headed down, as well as a 2nd pitcher. There are definitely arms that will be going. I can say that without saying it. We'll have at least one going, as this ball low to Christopher Bear. Every batter means something. There are enough arms where Jendrik Speer could swap every few hitters and still have enough to get through the lineup. This is one of the deepest German stuffs in history. In fact, Matthias, you're here. I can ask you, do you think this is the deepest German pitching staff ever? As this ball bunted down the third base line, it does just roll foul by Christopher Bear. Would for sure have been safe if that ball had not dribbled foul. So what do you think, Matthias? Deepest pitching staff ever?
I would think so, and for sure the strongest when it comes to starting pitching, as really Germany showed some pride with the starting pitchers leading the tournament in the array, if I'm not mistaken. At least it was so before yesterday's game. As 143 is the array by German pitching, and we still got Titus von Kapf and Joel Petzold that did not throw at all in this tournament. So that really shows what happened, what developments going on in Germany pitching wise.
That's exactly right. I think as someone connected quite closely to things in Germany, Matthias quite rightly giving a more nuanced answer to my question. I've seen Germany play a lot internationally in person since my first European Championship in 2015. This is the best and deepest German stuff I've seen as someone who doesn't work with it. They've really been exceptionally impressive. It's not usual that Germany leads the European Baseball Championship in large numbers of pitching stats, but quite often has pitchers who are amongst the leaders, but collectively as a unit, that is a tremendous accomplishment. 1-2 pitch fouled off by Bear, who bunted the first. 2 strikes foul. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball low and outside. That's a beautiful pitch there by Kleehaupt. Really veteran pitch, getting him chasing low and outside.
Yeah, really keeps his calm here, Philipp Kleehaupt, after putting on the leadoff guy with a walk. Staying calm and striking out the next man, Christopher Bear.
Very impressive job there by Kleehaupt. I think he dialed it up an extra mile or two on the fastball there. To me, that looked like that was about 92, I would guess, where he's been sitting more like 90, 89, 80, 88, 89, 90, I would have said previously. Very, very nice work as Nick Wood takes a nice fastball in the outside corner as a left-handed pitcher. So Kleehaupt working both sides of the plate here. He is looking like he has tools to get out of this jam. Whether he'll be allowed to or not is another story. Well, I say a jam. His runner on first base. It's Cole Leclerc who fires off to second. Wow, what a great jump, because that was a more than solid throw from Bendine, who has a decent arm, and Leclerc in there. One of the speediest GB teams that we've had in quite a long time. 7 out of 9 can easily steal bases. We have a substitution that neither of us heard announced or saw. Well, let Matthias tell you about that once that is identified.
Yeah, I just realized Darian Richards on the screen here is playing center field and replacing Lou Hammock out there. I don't know if there are any further changes, but that's the one that's obvious at the moment.
Helmink, a very easy person to spot, as I mentioned earlier, had all kinds of red and yellow gear on, and yes, it does appear that that was a straight switch. No indication as to why, but may simply be playing time, in-game situations. This is a game that means a lot to both teams, as this 2-1 pitch popped above the infield. It'll be the shortstop Schmidt who takes it right above the infield arc. So Nick Ward 0 for 3. Still a runner in scoring position for Julian Sanders. Hit a long double off the left center field wall, off the top half, which is white. One of the harder hit balls we've seen to left center, probably went around 380 feet. And unlike virtually every other ball hit to anywhere but the corners on this field, did actually carry and then drop rather than hang up. Can he do it again? He is the tournament hits leader with 14. Swing and a miss, badly fooled on what I think was a changeup by Kleehaupt. Could have been a tight slider on the low and outside part of the pitch. Matthias indicated probably a slider there. Very, very nice pitch there.
Yeah, really nice job by Kleop getting ahead here, as you were mentioning, the probably hottest hitter for Great Britain and one of the hottest in the tournament.
And now a foul ball in what I think was a change-up high and right over the top of the plate. Second all-time now in hits in a single tournament is Julian Sanders. Checking the all-time national team major tournament stats at projectcob.org, the official archive for British baseball, projectcob.org.uk, also in charge of the British Baseball Hall of Fame. So 14 ties Mike Nikias, former minor leaguer. We had a brief cup of coffee, but here, swing and a miss on 3 pitches. This is a very impressive pitching performance by Clay Haupt out of the bullpen.
Wow, I mean, you were talking about his age and how mature he acts out there, and yeah, what can you tell more than this strikeout versus Julian Zander, who was really tearing it up?
We're at an hour 40. We are already 5 complete innings through. We'll be back to tell you about the top of the 6th in just a moment.
We're back here in Rotterdam for a 5th place game between Germany and Great Britain with the top of the 6th inning. As Yannick Walter is leading off for Team Germany. And still on the mound for Great Britain is Zach Cameron. Count now is 2-1 for Yannick Walter. And another ball. Count is 3-1 now for Walter. And a nice hit up the middle by Yannick Walter. A nice line drive for a leadoff single here for Team Germany. It's the first hit for Walter in this game, as he had walked before. And that causes Great Britain to meet up at the mound. And presumably there's another pitching change coming up. And that's the case. So after this leadoff single by Yannick Walter, we're gonna see a new pitcher for Great Britain. It's gonna be the fourth pitcher in this game.
Always tough to throw 2 shutout innings, give up a single hit, and come out. But with world ranking points on the line here, and we haven't yet talked about that, so while our new pitcher does, perhaps we should. There is very little opportunity for second guessing allowed in this. So as Donovan Benoit comes in, we can enter his name in our scorebook. In this game, what these two teams are fighting over nominally is 5th place in the European Baseball Championship, but given that the teams are ranked 4th and 5th in Europe, which is based on a much larger set of data, which includes not only continental championships at the under 12, under 15, under 18, under 23, and senior national levels, but also the world championships at each of those levels, sending teams to continental tournaments, winning them, and then heading on to the World Cup level gives opportunities for lots of different sets of points. And with the two teams starting the day so very close in the world rankings, there is a very good chance that the difference here between a win and a loss could even affect the global rankings. I'm not going to posit whether that is possible or not, as the math's too difficult and we don't really have all the full set of information, but 33 points separate these two nations. Just to give you an idea of how small 33 points is, the difference between Japan and Taiwan in 1 and 2 is a total of 1,560 points. These teams on the field today, 33 points different. Now, why could this matter at a bigger level? As Benoit is ready and he will take the mound against Lucas Dunn, because the main World Baseball Softball Confederation tournament for the senior national teams outside of the World Baseball Classic is something called the Premier 12. The top 12 teams in the world have faced each other, and it is sort of like an off-year tournament, which gives teams something to aim for in between the 4 years of World Baseball Classic. The top 12 teams have already qualified, as in previous years, but now the next 6 teams in the world rankings plus 2 wild cards will appear in that tournament, Matthias. And currently, GB and Germany ranked 17 and 18 in the world.
Yeah, so that's a pretty crucial position we got there. And also, when I have a look at the standings, in a 16th spot is Nicaragua, which is 4,000 points ahead. So this is basically the thing. Is Germany going to overtake Great Britain or not? So that's the story.
At this point, Nicaragua this year, one looks then down below at China, which is currently competing in the Asian Baseball Championship, and it's only 50 points behind Germany, meaning that there's quite a lot here at the very bottom end of the top 18. Now, you might be thinking, gosh, top 18, that doesn't sound like a lot. Consider that roughly 100 countries have a national team, not all necessarily in the world rankings, which currently include, I did have this up, and then I managed to hit the wrong button, 77, but at any one point there are anywhere from a dozen or two who have not yet featured, or have not been yet added to the rankings, or not competed recently. Being in the top 20 is really a tremendous achievement, particularly as in a country like Europe, it is very hard to get one of the spots representing Europe in World Cup tournaments at lower levels, because only 2 teams from Europe go. So that is 2 out of a total of roughly 25 teams in Europe. Swing and a miss on a changeup on 2-2 by Benoit. That is a really nice strikeout of Dunn.
Yeah, and when we take that further, we have a look at Spain, who just lost the bronze medal game. They're going to get some points for that, obviously, but they currently ranked in 25th place. And Brazil, who beat Germany in the World Baseball Classic qualifier and is participating in the main tournament, is currently ranked 22nd. So that tells you a lot that top 20 is not an easy task to achieve.
That is exactly right. Israel, another team in the World Baseball Classic, as we get a check swing, did not go on a fastball that misses just low and outside to Simon Baumgart. Israel ranked 21 in the world. That's a team ranked, rated as part of World Baseball Classic competition. Number 20 is Canada, number 19 is China. We've already heard Brazil. Spain, number 25. South Africa, 26, another team which has had its share of experience in the World Baseball Classic. Even going down further to Thailand at 31, a former World Baseball Classic team. 32 is a tie where Pakistan sits, though they'll be moving up after Asian Baseball Championship play. And then Argentina at 34, all World Baseball Classic teams ranked well below these clubs. So snooze, and any one of a number of teams competing on the world stage could easily jump ahead of one. There is a lot at stake in this tournament. Swing and a miss, swing and fouled off, just catching a piece of this. So, top of the 6th inning here, 1-0 ball game, Germany GB. Donovan Benoit, the new pitcher on the mound. Ball in the dirt by the right-hander. Played for the Gastonia Ghost Peppers of the Atlantic League, a former, well, one-time Rangers affiliate, the Gastonia Rangers. This year, a reliever, but pitched plenty of innings, 70 innings in 31 appearances, 77 Ks, 4.63 ERA. He returns from multiple previous GB appearances, including at the aforementioned World Baseball Classic. One of 4 members of the 2023 team to represent Britain here. As I ran to refill our coffee cups in between innings, the Czech team earning a well-deserved dinner behind us. And it's safe to say the mood there was quite a happy one as Baumgart takes the walk. 2 runners on now. And up steps German big stick Simon Bäumer. This will be a very good time for him to find that power stroke, Matthias.
Yeah, we were talking about he had found his power stroke yesterday with pretty much decisive 3-run double in the 5th inning that cut the deficit, the 5-run deficit for Team Germany versus Israel. And obviously in the Deutsche Baseball Liga, one of the best hitter in the Southern Division, hitting for average and for power.
He is a known quantity. GB will take this AB very seriously, and the fact that it has put in a World Baseball Classic pitcher. Also appeared in the minors for the Cincinnati Reds for over a span of 4 years. Shows just how seriously GB is taking this threat. 0-1 count, fouled off.
Yeah, and Simon Bäumer also proved he can be clutch, as he was the guy hitting the solo home run that gave Germany the lead, and in the end the win in the Prague Baseball Week in the finals over Czechia.
Very good point. We haven't talked nearly enough about Prague Baseball Week, one of the top independent baseball tournaments in the world, nowadays featuring mainly national teams. In the past has had U.S. university teams and all-star teams, opponents. Nowadays a showcase midsummer for Europe's top national team programs, particularly those with players who mainly play domestically. As this ball squirted foul down the 3rd baseline. Swing and a miss and a change up. HUD completely fooled. That is a crucial strikeout for the TV pitching staff.
Big strikeout here for Team Great Britain with runners on first and second and just one out. So that gives them the second out and now a chance to escape this lead-off single by Yannick Walter in the 6th inning.
So we have Eric Brenk stepping to the plate. Facing Benoit. Germany still clinging to a 1-0 lead. 6 hits in the game. Swing and a miss. And Benoit really has that changeup working well. Fourth pitcher out of the GB dugout, including the starter, Matteo Sollecito. Ball bounced to the right-hand side. Flaherty wraps it up, fires onto first, and GB is out of yet another German threat. So 2 strikeouts and a ground ball get around the leadoff single by Walter. He is stranded on second base. Yet another wasted scoring opportunity for Germany, Matthias.
Yes. Well, as we were talking about, you don't get too many of those chances usually in those games, and yeah, Germany for the 3rd time put a run in scoring position and only managed to score that 1 run in the 3rd inning. So we'll see if Great Britain can take advantage of that in a second.
Bottom of the 6th inning, only 1 run in this game. It is by Germany. GB will send up 3-4-5. Quinn Allen, Max Vieira, Will Cresswell to the plate. Allen 0 for 1 with a walk in the game. This ball hit on the air to the left-hand side, and it is the left fielder Brenk wrapping that up. 0-1 fly out.
Yeah, Eric Brenk, easy fly out here in left field. As there were some moves in the defense before yesterday's game, Brenk usually is the guarding 3rd base, but with Baumgart in and mainly young Elias Huber showing really that he belongs to the starting lineup. So that caused Eric Brenk to move to the outfield and have Huber at 2nd and Baumgart at 3rd.
Says something about the talent of the teenage Huber that he can move longtime mainstay Eric Brent to the outfield. On the other hand, it also says what it takes to be a national team player, which is unselfish play, as this ball roped down the left field line. A British pitcher attempting to make a one-handed play on the bounce, can't come up with it. And that's what it takes for championship teams. It takes players willing to put aside ego and move to a different position. In this case, from the infield to the outfield, a big change, but also one which means one will see fewer action, quite possibly, less action, quite possibly. And but this is a hallmark of the German team in that there's some flexibility in positions. Players are athletic and can move around the diamond, and that's what's necessary to build teams good enough to be title contenders of a continent.
Yeah, and I know that Jendrik Speer likes players that are flexible in defense. Basically, which coach doesn't like players he can just put anywhere in defense and big utility guys? I have a feeling of that it's more and more the development in baseball, also in the big leagues, that you want players to play different positions in defense that to give you more flexibility.
Yes, that change, a notable shift over the last couple years as this ball bounced in the dirt on 1-2, as there was increasing concern that children playing baseball were specialized too young, not having the benefit of learning multiple positions, but also acting as if they were professionals from too young an age, losing the ability to have fun and just bounce around the diamond and discover new loves. This ball, another K, 3 in the game. Max Vieira goes down fishing. What a performance by the right-handed pitcher by Germany.
Yeah, isn't it fun to watch young guys perform at a stage like this? I mean, it doesn't matter basically to me which team it is. If you have a young player that really shows what he's got at this level, that's really fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think those of you who've listened to me on multiple broadcasts will note that that is something I really highlight. The young players who get a chance to play for country, and many of them teenagers. Just what an incredible opportunity. A 1 count now to Cresswell. One of 2 rising GB catching prospects. You might have heard of the other one, Harry Ford, Seattle Mariners catcher. He is stuck, however, behind the talented, and another you might have heard of, Cal Raleigh in Seattle. So plenty of catchers in both the Mariners and GB organizations, but Germany got plenty to say about that as well, with Yannick Volter behind the dish. 1-2 pitch. Now, 1-2 count now.
And it's 2-2 now. This was called the ball, but Philipp Kleop reacts strong here with another strikeout.
1, 2, 3, 4 Ks in 3 full innings. What a tremendous performance by the young right-hander. He is keeping Germany in this nail-biter of a game. We are 2/3 of the way through. It's still 1-0. We'll be back in a moment to tell you about it. Oh, apparently he's not. I was told no. I agree. No, it's apparently no. Bottom of the 6th now. Excuse me, top of the 7th now. We are through 6 complete here in the 5th place game in the European Baseball Championship. Hello to those of you joining us from around the world. Guten Abend for those in Germany as this ball blooped to second base. Michael Flaherty coming on and tossing to first. He has been very impressive in the second base spot after primarily playing third base for GB. Max Vieira, the Wunderkind at the middle for GB early on, has since moved to the outfield as plans have changed, and Flaherty just seamlessly stepping in. Yet another assist for him on that 0-0 pitch by the hitter Lou Helmig, except it was, of course, the new center fielder Darian Richards. So now it is catcher Maurice Bendrin.
Bendrin already has 1 hit in this game. It's also his first game of the tournament.
He takes the first pitch, and now a second, which will be a ball, evening the count at 1. Fastball. Cresswell wanted it, but it misses outside. 2-1 now. We are now 1.5 hours away from first pitch in the European Championship final. Italy and the Netherlands, rematch of 2012 tournament also here in Rotterdam. Italy won that one. The Netherlands, it has not won a title since, and the Netherlands also looking to get back into the win column, the all-time champions of Europe. Will be a good one. Flaherty again in just about knocks that ball down, keeps it in front of him. Bendrin, really nice speed though. Legged that out up the first baseline. He's got sneaky speed.
Yeah, he's got sneaky speed. I mean, sneaky because he's a catcher, but he's a good runner.
Although he's on the less bulky side for a catcher, he doesn't necessarily look like an absolute speedster, but really got up the line there. I actually think that's going to be a base hit rather than an E4, as Flaherty had to come quite a long way over and actually did a good job to even knock that down. We'll let you know if there's a difference of opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, that ball was hit right way on the left side of second base, so good job by Flaherty to keep this ball in front. And I would assume it's an infield single for Maurice Bendrin.
So it turns the lineup over to Elias Huber. Yet another of the very impressive set of Germans coming up through the clubs and academies of the Deutschland Baseball und Softball Verband, DBV. Had to remind myself whether softball was in there, and I knew it was there's something, but unfortunately I had it up in front of me. And he takes a cold strike.
Yeah, to his 434 average he had in this year's season in the Deutsche Baseball Liga, Elias Huber also added 8 home runs.
Very, very strong numbers for a young player in any National Baseball League, let alone one of the top European circuits, one of the fastest rising. Line drive single through the left-hand side. Bear his glove out. There's absolutely nothing he can do. That is a line drive single to left field. 2 runners on, 1 out for Germany. It would feel much happier with an insurance run or 2 here. Could this be the moment? What a good piece of hitting by Elias Huber.
Yeah, he showed again that he's a really matured hitter, just waits for the ball and drives this one to the left side of the field as a left-handed hitter. So really good job again by Elias Huber.
We have a visit to the mound by Connor Brooks, the pitching coach for GB. That'll give me a moment to say guten Abend to the Fanclub Deutsche Baseball Nationalmannschaft. And thank you all. No doubt there are many of you joining in to hear Matthias Ondrzejczyk, my sidekick, and putting up with my British accent. In this case, though, I hope what you have seen is my very high admiration for German baseball and also my delight in getting to sit next to Matthias, whom I've known for quite a few years now, but only had now in this tournament the opportunity to call games with. It's been really enjoyable working together on the mic as well as saying hello from the sidelines as we more commonly have done. This has been a real highlight for me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, that's for me. That's what it's all about when I go to those European Championships, to meet the baseball family, which includes you and me and so many other guys, that are going to be there, and that just makes it fun to be with part of those tournaments.
That's absolutely right. I think that is a thing that basically everyone, as Schmidt waves at a pitch, players, coaches, fans alike, there is a real sense of European baseball community here, and the more one goes, the more one sees familiar faces. By all means, if you see me wandering around the ballpark and you have attended a tournament, say hello. I love to meet fans from around. I had a really wonderful set of interactions with the Deutsche Fan Club in the last tournament as a swing and a miss on a nice low fastball to Schmidt, and I opened up a couple packets of special baseball cards produced by the fan club. I was hoping to add to my collection this year, but I didn't see any. I would love to have more German baseball cards in my collection. I thought that was such a neat thing. They're beautiful, beautiful baseball cards. If anyone's listening and wants to send me a pack to England, I'd be very grateful. This ball fielded, though, by Nick Ward, who makes the tough throw to second. However, the shortstop, no, that was the second baseman Flaherty throwing the ball wild to first base. So not only does GB not get the double play, but the E4 allows the run to score. It was going to be bang, bang. I think that run was going to score no matter what. But the wild throw ensures that there's no double play. The hitter Schmidt was realistically going to be safe at first. Germany adds a crucial run on the ground ball.
Yeah, Schmidt, a really fast runner, tough to double up anyway. But yeah, also good job by Elias Huber here, sliding in the second base and yeah, maybe causing a little of trouble on that throw on the British side, and that's an important second insurance run for Team Germany here in the top half of the 7th inning.
It is, in fact, an E4 that allows the run to score. And GB now, with another right-hander warming, have to think this might be just about it for Benoit. What a task he has to face Walter, 1 for 2 with a walk in this tournament. And off running is Schmidt. He had that base easily stolen, but Walter tops the ball foul.
Yeah, Walter in the meantime, after his hit in the 6th inning, slashing .417 in these European Championships.
GB PR officer Chris Knobloch informing me it is Owen Wild warming in the pen. He flew over, especially for the final day of play, as the Tampa Bay Rays released him to GB, but that was before finding out that his Biscuits would make the Southern League playoffs. He pitched a couple days ago, and it took them until yesterday to wrap things up. He then flew over, and here will possibly be flown into the game. We'll tell you more about him if he does indeed come in, as Walter goes down 0-2. Another pitcher for GB, Brendan Beck in the Yankees organization, also could not make it over as he is in minor league players. So here 0-2 still against Walter. Another ball chipped foul. Benoit thus far 1 2/3 innings. 2 hits 1 walk, 2 Ks. He's given up a crucial run. Can GB get on the board against a German staff that has been utterly dominant, not only today, but for a week straight? High and in tight buzzes Walter. Might have been setting him up for something off the other half of the plate. Volta there, though, after parts of multiple seasons in the minors, not going to be that bothered by a high and inside fastball. Over Benoit, the veteran minor league pitcher, as he throws over to first base, has the 1-2 advantage. The crowd already can be heard over on the first field, an hour a quarter away from first pitch in the Continental Championship. That is going to be a wild one. Tickets are, to my best knowledge, sold out. And no doubt fans already filling up. There's been a great fan festival area with lots of food carts and trucks with both Dutch and American foods, but also churros. I will never ever forget as a swing and a miss, Walter badly missing on a low outside fastball, I think, as Schmidt takes off for second. So Germany out of this 1 run on 2 hits, though. 1 runner left on. It takes a 2 lead into the bottom of the second. I'll just finish my thought. I will never forget in the 27 World Baseball Classic, a vendor in the stands in Jalisco at the ballpark in Guadalajara, where one of the opening pools with Italy and Mexico was hosted, selling churros. And he had the most fantastic call, rolling his R's as beautifully as I've ever heard a Spanish speaker saying churros. And yet here we have churros becoming part of European baseball as well. Also a beer tent and lots of other going on there. But I wanted to ask you, after that long preamble, Matthias, whether or not you tried out the VR booth where you could hit against a simulation in a little tent where alongside all of the food.
No, unfortunately not.
I didn't
even see it.
And it's now too late for us, of course, because it'll be swarmed for the rest of the game. But
You'd have told me before, man.
really, really cool to see. Lots here for the fans. Also a large shop on both sides of the entranceway, a really nice entrance area. It felt like walking into a major tournament or festival from the front entrance. Not that you and I really use the front entrance very much, but so much going on here. Really, this has been surely a really fun game to attend as a fan. Michael Flaherty, who is over 1 with a walk, steps in. He will bunt the ball and foul. Once again, Baumgart playing just so deep. If I were preparing him for his fielding positions, I'd say really anyone other than Quinn Allen, Will Cresswell, and possibly Julian Sanders. There's a very good chance there is a bunt coming from GB if one is pulled deep. But that surprise ruined now, and the 0-1 pitch taken down low by Flaherty.
Yeah, of course, it's always a good idea to catch the defense by surprise, and bunting, the German team showed it plenty of times in this tournament, with hitting home runs also, but playing good small ball, bunting 2 or 3 times in a row. It's always good when it works out.
That's right. The 2-1 pitch, skied to shallow left field, and then coming in towards the infield, it is Alexander Schmidt, ably wrapping that up. Now, something we haven't mentioned now for a full 5 minutes or so, Clayhouse back out there, looking just as comfortable and calm as he ever has. He may very well bring us to near the end of the game. I don't know if he'll throw a full 6 innings of relief, but he is already through 3 innings now. He has racked up 4 Ks. He's walked 2 and has not allowed a hit to GB. This ball to third base. Picked up easily on the 0-1 count. Kennard Dawson retired 5-3. Another quick out, and GB already down 2 in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, you really cannot say enough about Philipp Kleop's performance. And yeah, I mean, he's got the stuff to finish the game if it works out for Team Germany. Yes, he was a starter all year long for the Gauting Indians, and yeah, was maybe the pitcher that threw, one of the pitchers that threw the most innings in the German league this year. So if he manages it to keep his calm, and like he shows us here, yeah, I would not wonder.
Ball 1 to Leclerc, who had a grounder and walked. Incredible, though, is that has a 20-year-old pitching not out of need, but because he's the best pitcher for this spot. As this ball popped down the left field side, it will stay in the park, but not close enough for Blank to wrap up. The fact that a 20-year-old in his 4th inning of work is so confidently moving through this just is great evidence of something that we've talked about over and over, this pipeline of young German talent. He has needed only a total 43 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. That is remarkable. It's a very good hitting team. Nice pitch, frames the bottom of the zone. 1-1 now to Leclerc. Leclerc has not appeared much in this tournament, but making use of this opportunity. Yet another young player, only 21 years old, and a rising junior, which is a 3rd-year university player in the U.S., has transferred to Texas A&M Texarkana after a year at St. John's University and a year at a junior college. So bounces the ball down the first base side and foul. 1-2. Temperature is starting to drop here a little bit. Probably going to be a chilly one, but not quite as chilly as it had been. I had the game time temperature at 18 degrees. Probably more like 15 now, I would say, but not nearly as windy as it has been for almost the entire tournament. Today, really the most pleasant weather, though it has been warmer, as this ball lined to right field. 2 steps in, Lucas Dunn catches that ball with ease. 3 up, 3 down. 9 consecutive batters retired by Clay Haupt. He has been an absolute wizard out of the pen for Germany. 10 pitches in the inning, 46 pitches through 4 innings. We head to the top of the 8th. Can Germany extend its lead? We'll find out more in just a moment. 2-0 Germany. 2 more innings to play. GB will now have the debut of Owen Wild. Very exciting addition to this team. He is, now I'm just going to double check this, making his debut in this tournament, having flown in from the United States yesterday after the Montgomery Biscuits finished up the playoff run, and a nice swing and a miss at a swing and a miss on that nice pitch by Lucas Dunn. Not two with a sacrifice fly, but has possibly, in addition to what would now be the game-winning run, been equally as impressive in the field, making balls that the two line drives.
Yeah, really great defensive showing also by Lucas Dunn. We're not talking about enough, I think, because he's really guarding right field, and there was some problems in the German team during the World Baseball Classic qualifier, some misplayed balls in the outfield, so it's great to see Lucas Dunn out there.
And pops up a ball on 3-2. Will it stay fair? The answer is apparently no. You will have heard many times that there's a bit of a blind spot for us here. A little easier now that the rain is not driving into our booth and we can push the enormous table close to the field of play. I don't know if anyone else has mentioned this, but this brings me back to Angel Stadium press box days. The press box moved from behind home plate as a cold strike 3. I don't think either of the two of us were expecting that to be a strikeout, nor was Dunn.
Yeah, nor was Lucas Dunn, but I assume that's the spot, the outside low spot we saw quite some time this game that home plate umpire Carlos Quinones likes. So consistency on his side.
That's exactly right. And really no complaints. This is something I've mentioned every game, but having not worked now in a few days with you, Matthias, just absolutely no complaints about the umpiring in this tournament. It's been ultra consistent. Really nice job done.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For all that umpires have different zones, I have not seen an umpire waver one team to another in the same game by more than a matter of millimeters, as that ball is a cold strike to Baumgart, who's not very happy about that. One of 2 Germans to fly in for the tournament, GB, with 1 player flying in, 1 player flying out. And this ball fouled back. Looking very quickly, looking very comfortable. I talked to him last night, only a few hours after he'd arrived, and asked him, are you feeling the jet lag yet, or is it all adrenaline? He said, I'm not feeling anything at this point. I'm just excited to be here. So Wild, really pleased to be joining this team. He said how much it means to him to represent Great Britain, and also the fact that he wasn't quite sure if he'd actually make it in time. Here, pitching a crucial spot late in the game. He is a stopper here to make sure that GB does not have any further chance. Germany does not have any further chance. This ball popped off the hands down the right field side. 2 straight long ABs now by German hitters. So tell you a little bit more about Owen Wild, right-handed pitcher from Spokane, Washington. Played for his hometown Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, although they're often called the Zags. And this ball lined to right field, deep, and it is dropped by the right fielder Leclerc. That's going to be at least 2 bases. He did have quite a long run, ranging up and over his shoulder to grab that ball, but really no reason to suggest that that would cause him trouble as he neared the warning track. Perhaps he got distracted as his feet changed from grass to dirt, but I can't think of any other reason why that ball would have popped out of his glove.
Yeah, I was about to say great job as well by the British right fielder, as we were talking about Lucas Dunn so many times in this game. He got to the ball nicely, which was also meant for the gap probably, but he managed to get the ball in the glove, but I just think he did not catch it in the best part of the glove. He just gave it on his palm, so that's why the ball dropped.
He was running at quite an angle, and may have been worried about the fence in a pocket with which he is very unfamiliar. Now, keep in mind, Cole Leclerc also only a few innings in the outfield on this field, and primarily an infielder in his career, more than capable of playing a very good outfield, but it could have just been a combination of all these factors, and that just simply wasn't what one would have expected. So runner on second base, and it's Simon Bäumer. Can he come up yet again in a big spot? Germany would love to have a 3-run cushion heading into the bottom of the eighth, because this G lineup can put runs together. 16-1 against Israel earlier in the tournament, and has had other spots with plenty of runs as the 2-0 pitch fisted down the left field side. So Simon Bäumer, 2-1 count now. So long this year for Montgomery Biscuits in the Southern League, only 22 years old, taking regular turns in the rotation for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's very highly regarded right-hander out of Gonzaga, drafted in the 7th round in 2023. Had a single inning stint that year after being drafted. Last year, fantastic work as a starter in single A at 2 levels. 2.82 ERA. And check out this number, Matthias. Last year, 151 strikeouts in 121 innings.
Wow.
That is really, really nice stuff as this ball fouled off by Bäumer. Also only walked 31 last year. Now this year, not quite as many Ks, but also jumping up to a level where he was almost 3 years younger than the average player and more like 4 years younger than the average pitcher. Had a 4.71 ERA, but only gave up a hit an inning. Still only walked about 3 per inning. And this ball fouled off down the left field side. This is a huge addition for the GB national team for even just one game here. Can he keep GB in it with a runner at second base and Bäumer up? And swing. It's a foul tip caught. I was waiting for the call because I couldn't tell from this angle whether Cresswell grabbed that. That is a crucial strikeout. Second of the game for Bäumer. Second of the day by Wild.
Yeah, great job by Wild here after that, I call it defensive misplay in right field. Obviously, as a pitcher, you always got that stuff in mind. Ball that probably could have been caught, so great reaction shown by Wild to get the second out of the frame.
Eric Brenkup, 0 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, takes the first pitch for a strike. German left fielder today, Eric Brank.
Ball chopped down the left field side. Something to note is we've had foul ball after foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. And I don't know about you, but this tournament, it feels like there's been a higher than normal number of foul balls across the games I've played. So many baseballs have been used in this tournament that to start today, a new brand of baseball was inserted. I don't know if that's true for the championship game, but it has been for all other games thus far. We have moved from the teammate ball, as every single teammate ball that has been shipped from Italy has been fouled off, lost, sent home as a souvenir, photographed, etc., etc. And we are now onto SS Cables, the Hoofdklasse ball, which does carry a little bit differently. Not as many home runs in the Hoofdklasse as normal, having switched to the SS Cables. Players I saw with Israel holding the ball one next to another and then compare it to an official Major League ball, all saying, well, the seams feel a little bit different. And from what I've been told, the ball just doesn't carry quite as far. It's not so much that it's dead, it's more that it just doesn't seem to have as much lift on it. Could that be playing a role in this game? Hard to say, as we haven't really had that many balls hit. None really that looked like they would get out of the ballpark, but we have had 3, I would say, to the right center side that looked like they ought to be in the gap and were not. 3-2 pitch chopped, foul.
Yeah, lucky kids here in the Netherlands who got away with all those balls, I guess.
And we are a long way from European Baseball Championships back in the day, long before either you or I were calling them, where fans would be asked to give the balls back because there just simply weren't enough in Europe. It used to be very hard to get baseballs. They had to be shipped from the United States. And then the Netherlands took the lead in manufacturing baseball equipment from the 70s onward, but still really pretty difficult until, what would you say, Matthias? Maybe late 2000s, early 2010s to get baseball equipment in Europe. It's really only been roughly the last 10 years that nowadays you can pretty much source anything you want, at least basic equipment-wise, from the Netherlands or Germany. Payoff pitch, it's a swing and a miss. Owen Wild comes in to strike out the side. What a performance by him. I think there's a very good chance that we will see him again in the 9th inning. Germany will hope it does not. However, GB down to 6 outs. We'll be back to find out what happened. More in a moment. New pitcher here for the bottom of the 8th. Could this be what GB needs? Coming out of the game is the astonishing rookie Philip Clayhaupt, 20 years old, with one of the performances of the tournament. In this game, he came in with the bases loaded, no outs in the 4th. Excuse me, that's correct. Bases loaded, no outs in the 4th, induced a double play to get out of it. Then threw 3 more scoreless innings in which he retired the last 9 batters in a row. So if you're adding up 4 scoreless, hitless innings as a 20-year-old, 2 walks, had a total of 4 Ks. This is the kind of performance that establishes you on an international stage.
Yeah, exactly. That definitely qualifies him for a start maybe in the next couple tournaments. He only threw 50 pitches in 4 innings against a really, really dangerous British offense. I mean, what can you say about that?
And that is 50 pitches coming in with the bases loaded when, let's face it, one doesn't just pound fastballs down the middle. One has to be a bit more careful. He was fantastic. Matthias, you're absolutely right. This is the kind of performance that sets one up for a start in the next tournament when Clayhaupt would be a whopping 22 years old, as the first pitch to Christopher Bear is bounced in from the new pitcher, which is number 41, Cesar Aquino. Tell us about Aquino, Matthias.
As we're waiting for this play here, is popped up towards third base, and Aquino gets the quick first out here for Team Germany. Yeah, Aquino is another really impressive young guy. He's in the Pittsburgh Pirates system playing single A out of the Dominican Republic. Basically, he has a German father, and he was included into the Deutsche Baseball Academy in the Dominican. And he already proved what he can do in this tournament. As his 3rd appearance, he already pitched against Sweden and against Italy. So another young, bright star maybe on the German pitching sky.
Cesar Aquino Jung, to use his full name in the Spanish language style, where one gives one's father's and mother's name. Jung, the idea here, his German heritage. The Swiss had a pair of players who were the Goldberg Jung. So you've heard the name Jung before, but here's Cesar Aquino, hiding to immediate notice his half-German status. A little wild thus far. Second pitch that did not find the mitt of Bendin. But it's worth noting that he has been just as good as Ahrens and Walter behind the plate. What a luxury to have three very strong, very quick and agile, good-hitting catchers.
Yeah, for sure. That's a luxury we have, and there are more catchers waiting in the DBL. But yeah, Maurice Bendrin deserves his third spot behind. Yeah, obviously, if Yannick Walter is able to join the team, that's always a great enforcement. And Vinny Ahrens, a long-time member, although he's still young, and also a lot of international experience on his side. So, yeah, pretty luxurious situation on the catching spot in Germany.
Ahrens, as this ball is bounced to the first base side, ruled foul, will gain yet another stamp in his passport, though he actually already has it in there. But in official play, he will head to Dubai as part of the Baseball United League, becoming in the process with that league officially launching this year, having had several showcases and tournaments along the way the last 2 years, will become the first German to ever play a league game in Asia, I believe, but certainly in Southwest Asia, as this ball fouled off Nick Ward well ahead of that. Very exciting to see plenty of Europeans getting a chance in that league. Look it up if you haven't had a chance. Extrainnings.co.uk. You can find breakdowns of the first two rosters that have been released. There are players from all over Europe on them, more that have since been announced during this tournament. Extrainnings.co.uk if you want to find out about baseball around the world. Mr-baseball.com for European baseball news. Get in touch on Facebook or Twitter if you want to ask questions about those. We've had some really interesting questions about player development and building national team rosters over the course of the week. I'd love to keep answering those as Nick Ward skies a ball to center field. It'll be wrapped up pretty easily by Darian Richards. Takes a couple steps to his left, then one back towards his right. That is F8. GB down to its last down in the inning. 4 remaining in the game. 2-0 Germany. What a thriller here. This 5th place game, we were talking off the air again, it just feels like someone ought to get a medal. What color medal does one get for 5th place? Because I'd like to know, is this the tin medal game? Is this the... Oh, as this ball hit on an absolute line, right center field, but hanging up like so many others do. That ball was 2 feet in front of the fence by Julian Sanders, the tournament hit leader. That is up. That is it. 3 up, 3 down. Line out to the center fielder. Cesar Aquino picks up where Philip Clayhaupt left off. This has been a jaw-dropping performance by German pitching. 2 hits allowed in the game. One was a bunt single. 12 batters in a row retired. Wow. We head to the top of the 9th in just a moment. top of the 9th inning, and just double checking, hoping you can hear me. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, doing a little sound check live on the air as I suddenly have no feedback in my ears. Ball sky to right field. Will it drop? Darian Richards will be on second base no matter what. It is a fair ball. He is headed for third base. Will he go all the way around? No. Chris Bear grabs the ball to ensure that it doesn't. That is a first pitch triple off of the bat of Darian Richards. That is why he has spent time in center field as one of yet another young Germans, 20 years old, ropes a ball to the right field corner. We weren't sure if it was fair or foul, and that is a triple.
Yeah, I just took a peek out of the tent here, and as Cole Leclerc tried everything, dove for the ball, and just, barely missed the ball that just dropped into fair territory. And obviously with the speedy runner Darian Richards, it's a lead-off triple for Team Germany here in the top of the 9th.
Darian Richards has 80 grade speed on the scouting scale. 80 means 100% plus speed. He is one of the fastest players in Europe playing baseball currently. And he was already on second by more or less when the ball had taken a single hop. Check swing, it's no real chance as Owen Wild out there again to Maurice Bendrien. For all that Richards has just doubled, I think Bendrien might be the player of the game. 2 for 3, he scored both of Germany's 2 runs. He's been excellent behind the plate. Can't ask for anything more out of one's third catcher.
Yeah, that also shows you about the depth of Team Germany. They did not take too many position players for the bench, as they were just having Bendrien on the bench before Helmig and Baumgart arrived during the tournament. So that really shows you that Team Germany has some options there.
Ball blew to the right-hand side. Richards is checked back by Flaherty. Pulling infield in works, and at least for 1 out, Bendrien retired. He's hit a single more or less to the exact same spot, but in his first time up down the right side, that got through. But pulling the infield in not only cuts off that hit, but also keeps Richards at third. GB will keep the infield in as Elias Huber steps up. Reach base twice on a walk and a hit. Very dangerous hitter at the top of the lineup, and he'll face the Rays rising prospect, Owen Wild. Fires a fastball in. Waiting the call. Called strike 1. Looked like a strike to me, but I never want to second guess an umpire. Wild taking things up a couple notches in this inning. He looks like he is sitting mid-90s. My guess would be that pitch was 94, 95. Four-seam fastball to Elias Huber. It wouldn't be at all surprised to see a breaking pitch here, and that's exactly what we see low in the zone, fouled off by Huber.
Huber already has 1 hit in the game, going 1 for 3 with a walk.
Wild, 6'2", 230. He's only 23 years old, but when I spoke to him last night, his baby face could have suggested he was a few years younger than that, pitching here with the velocity of someone much older. Big, strong, lanky frame. Looks like he has room to put on even more muscle. Another ball fouled back. He is a rookie. I've said at several occasions there were 11 rookies. That's, of course, because we weren't sure if Owen Wild would make the team. And he becomes the 12th debutant on this roster. That's pretty incredible to make it to a 5th place game with a new roster of new exciting players. And here we see why Wild was added. That was a nasty pitch on 0-2, and Huber was completely fooled.
Yeah, still good AB by Huber. It's just that Wild is really dealing at the moment, but fouling off 2 or 3 pitches with an 0-2 count. But nevertheless, that gives Team GB 2 outs after the lead of triple by Darian Richards, and yeah, that's really ruins the chances of Germany to add on here. Although Alex Schmidt wants to change that.
Bradley Marcelino heading to the mound rather than pitching to Connor Brooks. So this is a tactical discussion rather than a pep talk, as GB needs 1 more out to get out of the top of the 9th inning. It'll be Alexander Schmidt, who's 1 for 4. He just needs to get a ball into the outfield or even a slow ball in the infield, and Germany could score another run here. It just feels like another run would be good. We've been waiting for GB all game to break out, but who knows? It could be that 2 runs are enough as Schmidt misses. German hitters really fooled low in the zone by Wild, who is throwing strike after strike after strike.
Yeah, that was almost the same pitch Elias Huber struck out just the AB before.
That's exactly right.
And again, the low pitch, swing and missed by Alex Schmidt.
And that is another 2 Ks, 5 in 2 innings for Owen Wild. What an impressive debut. Similarly to Clayhaupt, this is the kind of thing that sets one up in the future for more significant innings. Well, it's hard to imagine anything more significant than GB Germany, 5th place game, and a pair of talented young right-handers throwing. We turn things over to the bottom of the 9th in just a moment. GB needing 2 runs to keep its tournament alive. 3 to walk off and win. We'll see what happens in a moment. Quinn Allen stepping in against the reliever for Germany, Aquino, back for his 2nd inning. And Allen takes the first pitch and the 2nd pitch from the right-handed pitcher. Allen making the jump from this year's under-23 team, so his debut on the senior team in this tournament. Here would be a great time for his 2nd senior home run, but instead it is a ball flied to right field, and it is the left fielder making a diving grab. That is Eric Brenk, the second base umpire, sticking up his hand to rule for the catch. That's Marek Vichar signaling that the left fielder Brenk has robbed a ball. What a catch.
Hey, what a catch. And I mean, we were talking about Eric Brenk playing kind of out of position because he usually guards third base all year long for the Bonn Capitals and also long time for the German national team. Wow, what a diving play by Eric Brenk in left field.
That was a 2-base robbing grab of Allen, who smoked that ball. We talked about balls hanging up, about balls just not carrying. It was neither of those things. He was absolutely robbed on a great line drive swing on 2-0. Exactly what one hoped for the 3-hole hitter in the lineup. Now Vieira down 0-2 quite quickly on a strike and then a fouled ball. Over 2 with a walk in the game. He's shown gap power here. It'd be great to see for GB. And this ball instead blooped to right field. It could get down. Boyma running down. The second baseman Huber running down. It's a sliding catch towards the right field line. Right fielder Lucas Dunn runs all the way in just to give his second baseman a high five. Germany right now suddenly lifted with helium, feeling as excited as it has at any point in this game. It feels like finally it might actually be able to take this game. Back-to-back web gems, great defensive plays.
I mean, great defensive plays the ball into nowhere, which is always really difficult. Is it going to be the first baseman, the second baseman, or the right fielder? And yeah, in this case, it was Elias Huber at second place with a nice sliding catch.
Will Cresswell up takes a strike, 0 for 3 thus far. Aquino looking even more dialed in than he did last inning when he went 3 up, 3 down. GB down to 2 strikes. That one just missing. I thought that might honestly be called strike at the knees. So Aquino in line for the save. Clayhaupt in line for the win. This is a story of a young German team that has just performed incredibly well. Regardless of the result here, prepared very well by head coach Jendrik Speer, pitching coach Mike Bolsenbrook, and, if you will, assistant pitching coach or bullpen coach Clemens Sikoki, and then Octavio Medina and Maurice Wilhelm preparing this team, and it just executing very well. Swing and a miss. Germany are your 5th place team in Europe. This feels, Matthias, like a tremendous accomplishment to finish 5th place in this tournament.
Yeah, it does. After the disappointing loss against Team Italy, obviously Team Germany came in with medal hopes into this tournament, but they really showed that they belong there in this discussion. And yeah, I mean, what to say about today's game? We were talking about it has semifinal character, and both of teams really showed like they would have deserved probably to go to the semifinals. So that's why this game was really great to watch. About 5th place. Congrats to Team Germany, but also congrats to Great Britain on a great game. And yeah, for Team Germany, just when I look at the box score, no errors, 2 runs, 2 hits allowed, it gets close to a perfect game for Team Germany. Obviously, it's not a perfect game in the meaning, but without any mistakes, really.
You're absolutely right. This was a flawless game from the Deutschlanders. And thinking about what we've both been saying about the significance of this, about how well both teams have performed, last time out, the Czechs played an incredible tournament and ended up finishing 5th, and really feeling like that was a disappointment for them. GB medaling, and this time out, the roles reversed. Czech getting its first ever medal, a bronze. These 2 teams, on the other hand, feeling like they have been completely robbed. What an incredible performance by these 2 teams in a game that few 5th place teams have ever been a closer match and played better than in this game. Wow, what a performance.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for more in this game, especially for my last game for the tournament, for Team Germany in this tournament. That's just a great ending for Team Germany, and really proven that both of the teams prove that they belong right where they're at.
That's exactly right. We see GB somewhat sedately walking off, and it feels like a disappointment because these 2 teams have come so far over the past few years, building youth programs and creating such exciting baseball to watch. The win will go to the rookie Philipp Clayhaupt, who was exceptional over 4 shutout innings in the middle, coming in and getting out of a bases loaded jam. That is the moment of the game that Germany took care of business in a way that the pitching staff equaled the accomplishments of the hitters, who put across the 2 runs necessary. Then young Cesar Aquino coming in for the save. That is the story of the game summed up in 2 pitchers. German youth movement well underway. It's going to be a very interesting next few years for Germany. We'll find out more by tuning in for German Bundesliga games next year, and look out for information in English at mr-baseball.com. We're going to wrap this one up here as Matthias has game duties post-game duties with Deutschland. I'll be heading over to call the gold medal game. I should say I will join the call on the gold medal game as color commentator. Matthias, this has just been a very exciting end.
It was really fun to do this game. Like I said, I basically don't have anything to add. It was a spotless game from Team Germany and a great showing by Team GB, and I really enjoyed my time here with you and with all the guys. And yeah, unfortunately, it didn't end for both of the teams. It didn't end the way they wanted.